have enough energy banked for one photon overcharge. I don't think that third's living. Not in a million years. But at this point, I don't think it even has to. With the amount of economic damage that was done, he's going for it again. He's coming in for a second set of storm drops. Photon overcharge has been used, though. So, yeah, he needs to get those out of there immediately. You don't want to lose a War Prism with 3 Templar in it. He's looking for an angle on it, but he's not getting one at the moment.
Well, in the meantime, Zest is going for a full all-out counterattack here, moving forward with all of these Immortals and Archons. A very strong army indeed, a nice Time Warp going down, and Hero's main army is really, really weak right now.
Yeah, it's very scattershot, and he was able to get like some good shots off with the Archons there. Another Storm Drop comes down, dealing economic damage, nowhere near as effective this time around, but this is the force that is on the doorstep of Hero right here is very, very dangerous, and this could be a kill, even with those amazing Storm Drops. Can Zest be stopped? It's not looking likely.
No, he is pushing forward. These Immortals doing the brunt of the work. He's going to pick off this Nexus, and I think we're just going to probably have to see a GG coming up. This is, like, just way too strong an attack from Zest.
Wow. Zest with trickery, followed by Hero's flashy moves of his own, but Zest just says, I'm having none of that. Let's go for the throat. And he tears it out. GG, ladies and gentlemen. And Zest is up 2-1. Really, that was a really cool PvP. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite nice. And you could see how, you know, after that DT opening did nothing, he tried to transition to Warp Prism, get some harassment going to catch back up. And as soon as it started to work, Zest is like, okay, you went for DTs, they didn't do anything. Your expansion was later. I've been macroing just fine, and you spent that much on a Storm Drop, I can kill you.
And he was right. Absolutely right. I wonder if it would have worked out better if he just pulled that Warp Prism back after the first set of drops, said, okay, great, cool. Go back, that's 3 more Templar, that's obviously 1.5 Archons. I don't see Storm being hugely useful in that engagement, so he'd probably morph to Archons. Would it have made a difference, do you think?
No, I think he still gets broken there. But he should have probably brought it back. You know, killing 13 probes is pretty gigantic, and you have to expect a counterattack there. So he was being a bit too greedy keeping that over there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well. It happens. There's still plenty to play for here. Hero's playing some really good StarCraft. Zest, unfortunately, is playing some better StarCraft. Can Hero push it up to 11? He's got to. He has no choice in the matter. Nothing less than perfection will beat Zest in this series. We'll find out after the break, folks. You're watching the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational. Don't go anywhere. Hi, my name's John Bain, and it's my pleasure to thank Sandisk for bringing us top-notch StarCraft 2 entertainment at the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational. When I'm not casting StarCraft 2, it's my job to critique PC games, and to do that, I need the best hardware. One of the best upgrades that you can get for your PC gaming experience is a solid-state drive, so I'd like to encourage you to check out the Sandisk Extreme Pro SSD. It's engineered for super-fast read and write speeds and consistent high performance 24/7. What does that mean for your games? Faster load times, faster boot times, faster install times. Less downtime, more game time. Plus, they're easy to install, run cool, and are both virtually silent and energy efficient. If you're worried about reliability, no need. Sandisk backs it all up with a 10-year warranty. Game without limits when you step up to the consistent high performance of Sandisk Extreme Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational, and we certainly have a series on our hands here as well, after a rather fantastic Game 3, which leaves Zest in the lead 2 games to 1.
That's right. The next map going to be Merry-Go-Round. Definitely can be a hard map to hold that third base on. So, I'm excited to see what they open with. I'm feeling Blink here, but we'll see. We've seen a really wide variety of openings so far. We've seen Fast Expand, we've seen a DT opener, we've seen Blink openers. Yeah, I mean, we even saw an attempted Proxy Oracle.
We did. And attempted being the operative word, because it got Hero killed in a huge way. Zest scouting just too good. And I do feel like that's a brilliant place to put a Proxy Oracle, and as a result, it's also a terrible place to put a Proxy Oracle.
Exactly. It's like too obvious, you know? You're like, well, that would be the best place to put a Proxy Oracle, right? So I may as well send my Mothership Core over there.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. It's not going to get caught out and killed. You've got easy escape paths and everything like that. So Zest did the right thing. Zest played perfectly, which is what Zest does. And I would say he looked like he had vulnerabilities in that last game. Those storm drops were just devastating. I think Zest was assuming, even if he'd spotted it, it's like, no, you can't possibly pull that off. And then he did, and did so much damage with it. But like you said, maybe a bit too greedy trying to make the magic happen a second time.
Yeah. He was. I mean, the first 3 storms were awesome, but you gotta know that you don't have much at home when you do that.
Yeah, and he did. He let it slip, unfortunately. And Zest got the great engagement, because Zest always gets the great engagements. That's kind of what he does. And he ended up in a great position and was able to crush through the defenses. And here we are on Merry-Go-Round. All right, folks, to the south position here. Needs to pull it back. Would be great to see him equalize this series. I'd love to see this go to at least minimum Game 6. Game 7 would be incredible. And I know he's got it in him. In the red trunks playing Protoss, CJ enters Hero.
And his opponent in the top right of our map, seemingly waking up after game number 1 and starting his ridiculously flawless play. It is KT Rolster Zest.
Yep. He's here. First game. Let it slip. It happens. Now you need to warm up a little bit. Now his hands are going the way they should be. His brain, more importantly, is going the way that it should be.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's playing like we expect Zest to play. Just picture perfect, crushing Hero a couple times, really. Despite Hero's pretty nice fight back, actually, in the last game with that storm drop still. But he did kind of get the upper end of build orders a little bit, right? He got a good scout off in game 2, and in the next game, in game 3 that we just saw, you know, he had that detection when DTs came and already had a Nexus, so that was going to be hard all along. So we'll see if that trend continues.
Yeah, I give it to Zest for the great scout, but at that point, like, it's once you've scouted that and once you've shut it down, losing is very difficult. So
yeah, that's very true.
It's not Hero making a mistake as much as it is Zest seeing it at exactly the right time, and then that being a build order loss from there on in. But that was not the case in Game 3. Zest shut down what came at him, and his attack was great.
Well, you know, this is kind of part of the beauty of PvP is you have to mix in things like proxy Stargates. If you don't, your opponent is going to be able to figure that out. Both these guys play so many televised matches that if one of them like always did something or never did something, the other would know and just kill him because of it. Like, if you can just check off the fact that, oh no, he never goes proxy Stargate, well, you're just going to win because you can just like leave nothing at home. You know, you can just go for it and abuse him for that. So it's good to see these guys really mixing it up.
Speaking of mixing it up, that is a Sentry first out here for Hero.
Yeah, it looks like most likely he's going to be going for a fast expansion here. I wasn't expecting that this game, but all right, we'll see what Zest does in response. He doesn't actually know that that's a Sentry, does he?
No, he didn't. He went out before that. He was assuming it was a Stalker that was being chrono boosted out, so he went to leave before he got there. That's even that might very well be a small little mind game there from Zest, because that's from Hero, because that's exactly what Hero would do in that situation, right?
Absolutely, yeah. it was a smart move by him, but we actually have Zest going for a Stargate, and if there is one man that can bust down a fast expansion with a Stargate and 3 Gateway Stalker, it is absolutely Zest. Like, this is the guy that knows how to do it. And I think that this is, I'm starting to get chills actually already, because I feel like we are going to watch Zest play a ridiculously good game.
Well, the expansion has now been scouted, so let's see what Hero can actually make happen here on the defense, because it's given Zest the opportunity to get aggressive, and Zest has to get aggressive. He's probably not going to take his own Nexus now. He needs to do damage, and it's going to be an Oracle first here from Zest.
Well, the Oracle, a great choice, of course. That's going to be able to draw units around. He's going to have one mothership cannon that can be used. So if you're flying around with your Oracle, you can't get all of your Stalkers and your mothership cannon really in the same place, or the Oracle kills a bunch of probes. So this makes a situation which Zest can force Hero to make a mistake somewhere, because there's no way to perfectly respond. But very smartly from Hero, he's going to grab an Immortal right away.
Yeah, he got a full scout, and then got another full scout for some reason. I think he suspected that Zest was maybe hiding something prior to that, and then just flies a Phoenix right in there. It's like, hey, I've got the energy on my Sentry, why not make that actually work? And so far, there's a bit of harassment going on. Is that maybe the last time you would ever possibly want to use a Photonova charge? I mean, that seems a bit impetuous, but of course, I guess you don't really have a choice, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to knock down your Nexus pretty quickly if you don't, and you got to leave your units in your main base to stop that Oracle from coming in, but this is what Zest wanted. He pushed up there and hit that so that the Nexus cannon go off, because the next time he attacks, the Mothership Core doesn't have energy for another Nexus cannon. So to stop his entire army is going to be really rough, and it's going to come down to these Sentries and this Immortal.
And there's 2 Oracles as well. They're just hanging around the back, just waiting for this backstab. The force fields from Hero will have to be absolutely immaculate in order to make this work. Can he make it happen? The Stalker's just getting a little aggressive, and this will be a very delicate dance indeed.
Oh, this is a hard situation for him. He's warping in some more Stalkers. With those 2 Sentries, by the way, don't forget, they kill Sentries really quickly, these Oracles.
Yeah, they do.
So
yeah.
He definitely can bring those in to help fight out a little bit.
All right, here's the time warp.
Here they come.
Yep, they're going right for it. The Immortal is trying to make its way through there, and Zealots are being killed off very, very rapidly here indeed. The Immortal is reaping a terrible toll, but the Oracles are even focusing on it. Zest crushes the Natural.
That's right. As I was saying, if anyone knows how to kill someone in this situation exactly, it is Zest. He did it perfectly, and Hero was even really smart. He threw up a bunch of force fields. He tried to use Sentries to hold on, but it just wasn't enough at the end. You can't expand too quickly against someone like Zest, or he'll kill you.
Yeah, and he just did. And that will be nail in the coffin time by the looks of it. GG. Yet another quick victory here for KT Zest, who may have taken 1 hit, but he refuses to take another. He's up 3-1.
That's a very quick 3-1 Totalbiscuit. Is this going to be 4-1? I don't know. It could be. When Zest starts playing his best, it's better than the rest.
Very much so. Very much so. And if, of course, you don't want to do any more casting, Artosis, you will have a future career as either a gangster rapper or a poet laureate. Pick your poison out of that one.
Probably the gangster rapper.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. That would suit you much, much better, I feel.
Yeah, I think so.
3-1, man, and Zest is, when he's winning these games, he's winning them impeccably. There's no errors, no mistakes, nothing's going wrong here for Zest at all. And Hero down 3-1. We did say after the first game that Hero looked like he could have made it happen, and certainly in Game 3 there was sparks of brilliance there, but I feel Zest's in bulldozer mode, and I don't see anyone wanting to get in the way of that.
Well, I mean, I think Hero wants to get in the way, but he's nothing but a speed bump right now. He's really got to start to play a little bit better than he is, I guess, because Zest's plays like just making all of the right decisions and using good builds and then winning. So Hero needs to either do something way more decisive or, maybe hit some mirror builds, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I'm trying to figure out what he could do from this position, because Zest just looks untouchable at the moment, and we are very likely going to see what would be a dream final, I think, for a lot of people. Zest versus Flash in a best of 7. certainly the big-ticket final that a lot of people have been waiting for, and a great undercard in the form of Bbyong versus Hero. Admittedly, 2 team kills, which is a bit weird, but I have no doubt that they'll show their best, especially considering there's a lot of pride on the line here.
Oh, of course, these guys all want to win this tournament quite badly, and I guess we get to see who are the real aces on these teams, because sometimes it's hard to decide. You know, Flash has been playing very well, but Zest has been getting all the credit lately. Maybe it's time that Flash knocked him down a peg, showed him who's boss.
Yep. I think he wants that top bunk again. He wants to make sure that the dishwashing is someone else. I can't imagine Flash ever being busted down to dishwasher in a house, though. I think you'd have to lose to a lot of foreigners to be put back in Casper jail there.
I think Flash has already done too much in his career to ever wash another dish, to be honest.
I think so.
I think he will retire way before he gets bad enough to wash dishes.
I imagine there's one of those minimum security kind of Casper jails, you know, for the white-collar StarCraft criminals. He loses to a foreigner, he goes there, and you know, he gets massages every day. He's able to wander the grounds. It's actually quite a little holiday for him. At this point, though, like, Flash is looking brilliant. Zest is looking brilliant, too. It's gonna be a clash tomorrow, man. I'm so hyped for that. But there is still one man that has a map to play with here that could stand in the way. He's gonna have to win the next 3 maps. That's gonna be a tall order, especially in PvP. Can he do it? He's one of maybe only a handful that could. Let's see if he can break it out here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Overgrowth. Will this be the end? For our hero, it's certainly a possibility. The villainous play of his opponent is bringing him down. We'll need to see an 11th hour comeback to the southwest position. In the red trunks playing Protoss, CJ enters hero.
And his opponent in the top right, leading 3-1 with just immaculate PvP. It is KT Rolster Zest.
Immaculate indeed. Practically perfect in every way.
Yeah, like that break. Like, as soon as the Stargate went up and we had a sentry out there, it was like, to me, it felt like it was obvious that Zest is going to break this. I've never seen anyone hold this against Zest. He just kills you. He kills your Nexus no matter what. It's almost better to just let him kill it. Because otherwise, you try to defend it, he'll kill it and all of your units, and then you're dead.
Yeah. I wonder if you might have been right there, actually. Let him kill it. Just try and hold him a little bit. Pull back. Use that ramp to your advantage.
Yeah.
Be able to use that big sentry count there. Maybe defend the oracles a little better. But even then, really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, he's played similar games against players like SOS, even another one of the very top Protoss versus Protoss players in the world. And sometimes a player will choose to let him kill it, but he'll still kill you later on. You let him kill it, guess what? Now you're contained for a bit and his expansion's faster. It's like a no-win situation against this guy.
The Kobayashi Maru of StarCraft 2. Cybercore going down here for Hero. A bit earlier than Zest, actually, who's a little slower this time around.
Yeah, we'll have to see what these guys are going to be going for. Kind of interesting with that slightly quicker cybernetic score. A lot of times that does mean something. You know, we do see, in fact, Zest is a player that oftentimes makes a slightly quicker cybernetic score and you know, rushes out to an Oracle or something, but it looks like this is just going to be to get Stalkers out quite quickly.
Well, that'll work pretty well, considering he has a second gateway there. He'll be able to start his first Stalker almost immediately. And Warp Gate, of course, begins a little bit earlier here for Hero. This has, of course, been fully scouted by Zest.
And I wonder if he's going to be able to put his finger on exactly what this is. We don't see quite yet, but he held Chrono Boost for a little bit longer than you would expect there on the main Nexus. So, a couple little hints as to what Hero is going to do.
Yeah, chrono boosting his Nexus again, actually, just to get the Militia Core out a little bit quicker to chase that off, because he knows I need that probe out of the way as quickly as possible, because whatever I'm going to do it right after this. So, 2 gateways up, which of course usually means double Stalker in almost every situation. Zest actually going for the Sentry build here.
Well, grabbing that sentry, but he does have a second gateway, so...
Double sentry?
Very interesting. Is he actually going to take a Nexus right now?
Looks like it.
I wonder if he'll hold on to this correctly. This is actually a very old fast expansion build from the beginning of Heart of the Swarm that Zest is using, the double gateway. In fact, this is something SOS used to use a lot, and it's pretty safe. If it's only like a light attack coming at you, like these Stalkers, you'll be all right, but we do have that Twilight Council in the way, so Hero's going to pack quite a punch as his follow-up with 4 gates!
Whoa. Yeah, and that seems like the right number of gates if you want to try and take down Zest in this situation. So, Hero looking like he may have the opportunity to try and put another map on the board here. Those sentries are going to get very little done. The force fields, of course, not too shabby at all, but it did, just for a fraction of a second, he spotted what was up that ramp, and now he's got information to work with, and this is looking good here for Hero, surely.
Yeah, I do have to say so. With 4 gateways, that's a lot of units he's going to be warping in. Of course, with that Robo finishing up, he's going to be able to get some Immortals out, but I feel like, you know, it's definitely Hero favored right now, right? He's going to have map control, he's going to have a contain on Zest most likely. It doesn't look like Zest is going to be able to quite finish this Nexus.
Wow. Zest he really wanted to try and hold on to it for as long as possible, even kind of dipping down the ramp slightly, taking some fire on the sentries but not losing them. Zest's control looking excellent there. But that was a nice little bit of pressure. He forced that expansion to be cancelled, which is pretty brutal, and he was able to do so without losing anything whatsoever.
Yeah, and you know what? He doesn't stay to contain, which is a very interesting move here from Hero, because normally what you're going to see is once they get rid of that Nexus, they're like, all right, I'm going to sit down here with a few Stalkers and a Sentry, and you're not getting down for a bit. But the fact that he's retaken his low ground, he's restarted his Nexus, means that even though I think, you know, Hero does have a slight lead, Zest isn't dead or anything. No. It's not the biggest deal you ever saw. That his Nexus is not that far behind.
No, it isn't. The cancellation's annoying, certainly, and it does mean that in terms of tech, we see a pretty good position here for Hero. He does have Blink. His opponent's not even attempting to get it. They're both getting Forged, and they're both actually starting upgrades. Is this actually, this is the first +1 we've seen in the series, isn't it?
I believe so. They got it in that one game with the Psystorm drops, but yes, it was a little bit later on for sure here. You know, when you start +1, that's when you're kind of both nodding at each other that you cannot kill each other. They're just like, okay, you have Immortals and Sentries, and I have Blink Stalkers. Okay, no one's dying here. You know, the best that we're going to see are little tiny scuffles. So get those upgrades going, because they are so important in the matchup.
Yep, he's trying for the old 1-2, but this is not a brilliant map to attempt that on, unfortunately. There's not that many places to blink into the main, thanks to that giant forest of space pumpkins that are found to the south of Zest's base there. I don't know what the map designer was thinking on that one, but yeah, it's a veritable forest of no blink, no way.
That's right, jack-o'-lanterns never blink. No. Well, he is poking in right now. Look at this, trying to pick off a sentry. Pretty heavy committal there, but yeah.
I mean, if he gets it, great. It's always nice.
Yeah, just lost some health, and he very nearly killed a sentry, which would have been cool.
All right, well, we're actually going to see Colossus added in here for Hero, which is interesting. And the Twilight Council follow up here for Zest, and we got a bit of a standoff for one of the first times in this series. It's been a very decisive series up to this point.
Yeah, and it may still end up being pretty decisive, because when we see Colossus play going up against someone who's not going Colossus play, it all comes down to one moment when the two armies actually do clash, because the Colossus makes a better death ball overall, but you can get better mobility with your Immortal, you know, Zealot type of army.
Brilliant snipe. Not only does it force a second photon overcharge, but he kills a sentry as well. So, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with Hero's surgical precision here.
He gets more done with Blink Stalkers in this matchup than just about anyone, as we can see. Doing an absolutely fantastic job. Zest trying to skimp. Yeah, he's trying to skimp on his defenses. You know, he hasn't made that many units. He's just trying to get his upgrades out and his infrastructure down before he really commits, and Hero's punishing him for that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, really, when you think about it, that none of these Stalkers has died yet. You know, he's gone into the more of, like, 2 Immortals and a Photon Overcharge. He's killed stuff, and he's not lost a unit. It's pretty incredible. You know, units lost at the moment is actually 2 units on either side. Such a 12 minutes of nothing dying kind of game. Although, he needs to get out of there. There we go.
Well, right now we do have Hero actually scouting what's going on for Zest, and he's going to find out that, oh, okay, so you basically know what I'm doing, and it looks like you want to go for Tempest, which is going to force a timing attack out of Hero. You can't just sit there and let them build up a Tempest force, or your Colossuses will just die.
The problem is, it takes a long time to get Tempest when you didn't start with Stargate in the first place. I mean, you've got to throw down your Fleet Beacon. He's using a lot of gas on other things, like he's warping in Templar. He's getting +2 and Charge. Now he starts his Fleet Beacon. And there's already 2 Colossus on the field. It certainly seems like Hero has a great opportunity to go and attack.
He certainly does, and he has 2 Time Warps, let's not forget as well, which, you know, when Archons are in there, is even more important than the Force Field. So that is a really big deal. We'll see. Can he actually break through? This is his real timing.
Yep, and he's actually going to blink onto the high ground here. He finds the one place that the Pumpkins do not cover, and is able to take control of the high ramp there. And that's great when you've got Colossus there with 9 range. But he decides to get out. He's going to bring in more units. He's trying to draw his opponent's army out of position. There was a Warp Prism from Zest that was lying around somewhere, but oh no, it's actually gone back. He wanted to think about a drop, but he's realized, oh, I need everything to defend this. And he's right. There's 3 Colossus in there now. The Time Warps go down. The Guardian Shields are up, and here comes the fight. Archon at the front on the right flank. Colossus and Hallucinated Colossus deployed as well. Great engagement here from Hero. Zest falling to pieces.
Oh, Zest
GG.
just dying there. That was greatly done by Hero. Zest tried to fly in with his Warp Prism, do some warp-ins on top of those Colossus with Zealots. Didn't work out. A great blink to defend that. He had Zealots on the Immortals. I mean, everything went perfect for Hero there. Really well done.
Great. We got a series on our hands. We do not have another 4-1 at all, because I told you, Hero is up to the challenge. It's a very difficult challenge. You know, no one has beaten Zest in a best of 5, and certainly never in a best of 7. And Hero's still down a map. You know, it's a still match point for him. That was a good game out of him. That was an excellent game. A perfect game. Again, how many more times have we got to say perfect game for both of these guys? Because that's what we're getting.
Seriously, that Hero didn't do anything wrong there. He got the cancel on the Nexus. He was ready to really commit, which was nice. Didn't want to let that get up no matter what. Went into his expand. Harassed heavily with his Blink Stalkers, doing a great job there, forcing all those photon overcharges and killing some random units. Went into the Colossus, found that he needed to hit a timing. Hit the timing perfectly. It was great play. There's no question about it.
Yep. Absolutely fantastic. And that means we got a bit of a reset going on. That's 5 maps down. If my mathematics is correct, that means we go back onto King Sejong Station.
All right. Well, 3-2. I'm happy. Let's do it. It's always fun to watch a map again. Remember now, the first time that we saw them play on King Sejong Station against each other, they both went for Blink Stalkers, but Hero really heavily committed to scouting and use up Mothership Core energy, whereas Zest just tried to play a safe game, throwing down a Robo, and then lost to those Blink Stalkers because he, spent the extra on the Robo and the Observer. So will it look similar to that? Or will we have a completely